y'all? Welcome back to the Anti-Oki Podcast. We are back finally. It's been a minute, dude.
It's been a minute, dude.
That means a lot of shit has happened, though, so that's good.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck are you, man? What's going on?
Yeah, just, it's living in winter wonderland where it doesn't stop snowing, bro. It's so much snow up here in North Dakota. It is crazy, but I mean, it's whatever. It's like, I'll take this. Like, this is fine. Bro, I was looking at condos the other day, and like they're like $80,000 out here, and I just saw that. I'm just like, yeah, I'm glad I'm here. Like, I can't even be mad.
Are you gonna move or what?
No, I just at some point I'm gonna probably invest in in some kind of real estate where it's like a small 2-bedroom. Probably move up to that because dude, a mortgage out here for those things are like $500. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. That's what HOA fees and taxes and everything included. Like, it's crazy.
For real? You're gonna get an HOA? That's nuts, man. I can't do that.
It's pretty nuts.
I can't do that. I like people like get all up in my I'm like, Dad, no, leave me alone. Like when we got this, I was like specifically looking for non-HOA. Like, nah, fuck that. But
I feel that.
But yo, so much shit has fucking happened.
Like, dude, like, oh man.
I mean, where do we
just jump straight
in? Where do we even fucking begin? Okay. All right, wait. So the first thing I do want to talk to you about is the G4 stuff, because I think that's like at like the top of everybody's mind right now. Like the whole rant that happened with Frosk about sexism in gaming. So I presume that you've seen it.
Yeah.
All right.
I have seen it multiple times.
Multiple times.
Yeah, so all right, so the whole thing I'm thinking is Eric July pretty much hit it spot on with his take on it, where he's like, G4 was kind of in a time where gaming on television was like unheard of.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
That was like gaming was kind of like this underground thing in the 2000s. Not in like near like the end of the 2000s is where it kind of got mainstream, but G4 was around when it was still in an underground era, in 2004, 2005, and that's what really made it take off. But if you watch some of the old G4 clips, a lot of it doesn't age that well. It's not that good. Like it's entertaining, but it's not that good.
Yeah, it wasn't like super high quality stuff for sure.
No. It's just like really cheesy, like nerdy kind of humor. But it was just for the time, nobody else was really doing that, so they kind of like had that. They had that market to themselves.
Yeah.
So now they're trying to come back in a time where there's so many people on the internet who do it all of that better than them. I don't think they really understand that. It's very clear that they don't understand that. And it's interesting because they got like a staff of like 20 people. They're like on cable television. Like they're trying really hard to make a full comeback, but they're treating it like if it's 2004 but more woke when it's really 2022.
Yeah, right. Like, for sure.
They're not really up with the times. And even besides the whole like debacle with this feminist, like if you just look at how their YouTube is doing for 20 people, like writing all this.
Wait, I can't hear you. Did you mute yourself? Oh, snap. I think he's got a microphone. Was it microphone battery or something? Is that what's going on? Completely dead. Nothing. Now I got to carry this. All right.
No, you're good.
I'm just fucking around.
No, I got two of these.
Was it a battery? It was a battery.
Yeah. These I had the dead one, and this is a charged one.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, the thing is, like they may be pulling like 1 million views a month.
Yeah.
For a team of 20 people, that's not good. Like that's like maybe a few like $2,000. Like what are they going? I don't think they're gonna last anyway. Besides this whole debacle, but like. The whole thing with this Frost individual is really just the gamers who watch the show don't want to have sex with me, so I'm going to make a rant because I'm insecure and I'm not as attractive as Olivia Munn, and so I'm going to make a 10-minute rant yelling at my audience. That's really what it was.
Well, so I agree with everything that you just said about like G4 existed at a specific time, and that was like what the magic of it was. Totally agree with that. But beyond the fact that they're trying to come back at like the exact wrong time with lower, I think that what they could have done before I get into the feminist thing, I think what they could have done actually is if they were going to come back, actually update the show, not from like a political perspective, right? But update the show based on like what exactly you were saying, like other gamers are doing that are like getting people's attention. So like I don't know. For example, like maybe do like a show kind of like Gamer Historian or something like that. Gaming Historian or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do some things that they know that people like. Get fucking MatPat to do game theory. Like, what? Like, I don't understand. Like, you know what I mean? He's a leftist too, so he would have been down anyway. So here's the thing: like, if they had just grabbed a bunch of YouTube talent or like people that have been successful on YouTube and put them on a network, it probably would have worked. But then instead,
they kind of started to. Like, they had Code Miko part of a show, and she's really like, they kind of started to get there. I don't really know. They kind of like dropped the ball with it though.
Yeah, well, but what happened here is that, well, I think that they just tried to bring back some of their old shows, like with people from the internet, instead of like using the people from the internet and taking their ideas and turning them into IP instead of, you know what I mean, just doing what G4 used to do,
right?
Which was like the wrong way to go about it. But besides that, when you get to like the thing that happened with Frost, it's like, I agree. I think that she's definitely like insecure about more things than one. It's just why she went on that rant in the first place. But what she needs to get, and like a lot of people need to get, is that like the reason why people are saying things about her gender is because they know that it bothers her, right?
Right.
Like, they're criticizing her and then they're using the immutable to get the criticism under her skin, and it's totally working. You know what I'm saying? And it just makes her look like all she needs to do is just ignore it. Like, fuck it, whatever. Okay, she made a mistake, like saying some shit that was wrong information. Okay, go on the show the next time and correct yourselves. Like, and the weird thing is too, that guy Adam Sessler, the one who was like he was like clapping like a train seal, like literally like a train seal. Like, what was up with that? Like, he's going crazy too.
Here's the thing, man. I don't know if you follow It's a Gundam.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
He blew this whole thing up because he like exposed a lot of things that I didn't know about G4.
Oh shit.
And he was like, you know, a lot of people like have a lot of, you know, likability towards Adam Sessler, but he was like, a lot of people didn't follow Adam Sessler on Twitter back when G4 kind of went under and he went on Twitter. He's been a leftist lunatic, like a really toxic person on Twitter for years, like the last 5-6 years. And he was showing tweets and he's got like, Republicans can eat shit. And like, my family's Republicans and they can eat piss. I hate them. Like, he's a nut job. He's a crazy person. And this is Adam Sessler. This is like what we kind of knew as like the face of G4 and stuff with X-Play and whatnot. But he's always been a lunatic leftist who's been mentally, like, he's always been that. And I didn't know that. I had no idea. So when all this came out, I was just like, you know, even if the whole Frost thing didn't happen, I would have just stopped watching G4 just because of that. I'm like, these people hate me. And I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I've come to that realization lately that like G4, the people behind G4 were not always that like, you know, they weren't always normal people.
Yeah,
like, they got a few crazies over there, and this is really what this highlighted.
Well, it really just you kind of hit it on the nail. It's like these people hate me, and like that's the thing too. Is it's like you have to. I really do think we have to stop fucking putting money into the hands of people.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a real problem, and that's the thing. Is it's like a lot of people look to a lot of these crazy lunatics for entertainment. Right. For something, primarily entertainment, but for something. And us, like, as gamers, like, we really need to like put money. Just guys, get Japanese games. Just get Japanese games. Don't play. For the most part, don't get Western games. And if you need to get Western games, buy the old ones from a fucking retro game store so that these guys don't get any more of your money. Seriously.
Yeah, I like what you call it with It's like Eric July also hit the nail on this in the head. He's like, you know, conservatives have abandoned the culture for such a long time that it allowed the left to take over. And now, like, they kind of have the culture, like, they kind of make the things that we like by default. And our response is like, well, I got to see the Spider-Man movie. It's like, well, how do you think this keeps going? Like, you know, as much like, you know, I remember when the whole Spider-Man trailer dropped, like, I'm like, man, this is really cool what they're doing, but the people who hate me control this institution, so I can't watch it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I can't buy it. Like, if I go put money towards it, like,
I hear really you. Complain about I saw Spider-Man. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, I did.
It's difficult, man, because I love Spider-Man. It's my favorite superhero, but like, it's hard to just like not engage in that medium because these people hate me. It's hard.
To be fair, I didn't see Eternals. I didn't see Black Widow. I didn't see a lot of them. I had to see Spider-Man though. I know. It's like, I'm sorry, y'all. I had to see Spider-Man.
I want to see it. You have no idea how bad I want to see it. Dude. I want to see it so bad.
But and you're right though. That's how they get you. And I have to like start drawing lines and shit like that too. And like I'm not gonna act like I'm perfect, but like yeah, I mean I didn't see Eternals. I mostly because I didn't really have any interest in it, but. There was a time when like I didn't have any interest in Captain Marvel, and I saw that anyway because I was like, okay, I want to like see all of the movies.
Yeah.
But like I'm definitely becoming more discerning about it, and hopefully by the time the next Spider-Man movie comes out, I'll be able to resist it.
But it's hard, dude.
But I didn't see Venom either. I want to see that. Didn't do it. I didn't do it. But like. But when they come out on like DVD or whatever or Blu-ray or whatever, and I could buy it at the retro game store, then I'll check it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, but for real, no, that's actually a good point. And like, it's like that's why we have to like band together and create things. You know what I'm saying? Because you're right, conservative leaning people, right leaning people, even like libertarians, like I consider myself to be like I'm like right leaning, libertarian.
Yeah,
and like. Even those people don't do this. They find it like a waste of time. They don't understand like that the arts do actually control the way that people like feel and think about things, which is like really I mean it's unfortunate. It's funny because I actually just recently took like a psychological like exam for like this class or whatever. It's like the IPIP. It's like really long and they ask you a bunch of questions to like understand your like your like different characteristics.
Yeah.
And I got imagination and artistic interest as very low. But that's actually not 100% accurate. The way that I think about it is I'm very cynical about this kind of stuff. And I don't like the fact that it does have such an impact. So I understand why people who would lean like more right would feel the way that they do and abandon those things. But I also do recognize that regardless of how I feel about it, it's just the way that it is. And so that means that, in order to combat it, you have to engage in that and you have to create and you have to be good too, because you have to compete on a crazy level.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, these things do take time. They're not going to happen overnight. It might not even happen in the next 10 years. I think that's like you can't be too short-sighted because they want you to be demoralized and just give up. And you kind of lose the battle by default when you do that. So, and there is demand for like people like us in certain spaces. I'm just going to give you like a small example. Like I was streaming Street Fighter like pretty late the other day, and like I was just like. I like to talk about things, and someone was asking me like, "Yo, like, where do you lean?" Because we were talking about just like culture and women and whatnot. And I was just like, "Dude, I am the furthest right you can think of. Like, there's conservatives who don't like me. Like, I'm really hard right because I called them out on shit." And this dude was just gifting all these subs. He's just like, "Dude, finally, there's someone who's not like the rest of the entire scene." Who's like who's like speaking out on a camera and shit, not just like in a chat or something. I'm like, there's really more of us, but you got to get people to just speak out on things because culture is very important, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I've actually realized like it's more important than I thought. Like the last like a good, I want to say like year and a half. Like it's kind of everything. It's because it's in our face all the time. And everyone's so into media right now. And like, I'm kind of interested to see what's going to happen in the next like 5 years with like the metaverse coming and like all this like this internet 3.0. Like we got to get involved in on that and like stay up to date.
The metaverse, man, that's how they're going to keep you in your house.
Yeah. I hate it. I hate everything about it.
Yeah.
I just like, because the thing about like, there's not going to be just one. It's not just Facebook's. Like there's like two other metaverses that are bigger than Facebook.
There should only be one though. There should only be one because it's fucking stupid that Facebook is trying to, or shouldn't only be one, I should say. It's stupid that Facebook is trying to like make like the one metaverse, like when it's supposed to be like kind of like a larger thing that more people can contribute to and create, just like some sort of like open source software, or even like software that's not necessarily open source.
One guy mentioned that, and I watched an analysis of it. He's just like, a metaverse by definition is supposed to be open source.
Yeah,
so like Facebook's metaverse is not a meta; it's just a centralized thing. Like it's supposed to be decentralized.
Yeah.
But Facebook's isn't. I think people generally reject Facebook's version though, which is good so far. Because people don't like Mark Zuckerberg, but they like the idea of one.
Because he's an
alien. Like, there's probably going to be. What's up?
Because he's an alien.
Whatever he is.
Have you seen the video of like him like eating toast or something, and it's like all the comments are hilarious. It's like why does he put it in his mouth like a DVD player?
Dude, he has no soul. He's just a demon. Like it's crazy. Like these, and you know, I like we just have to stay up to date on not just culture, but also like technology too, and how to interact with it, because conservatives haven't really the boomer generation really dropped the ball on this. They didn't really keep up with the rise of the internet, and now the left took over it. So like we can't let that happen when like the internet reaches the next generation.
Web 3 gotta be up on the Web 3. Yeah. I mean, I agree.
I'm kind of excited about it. I like the idea of smart contract technology and decentralized internet. So like I'm kind of excited about it, but I don't know. I mean, it's definitely gonna be a campaign for the worst people to take it over. So
I mean they already are. That's why we're talking about this in the first place. I mean, this chick came up in here and she was like talking about who was the guy who was sitting next to her who like I feel like was not like necessarily down, because she goes sexism in gaming, and he's like, oh, I didn't know we were gonna go there. What the hell was that?
I think it's a popular guy, the completionist. I think it's the completionist.
Is that the completionist?
Yeah, was it? Unfortunately.
Because I don't think that he was down. Yeah, that is the completionist. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. I actually really like his videos. I feel like he was not like, I feel like he was clapping because he knew that like, oh shit. I feel like he was clapping because he knew that like he had to, otherwise he was gonna like.
I hope so.
You know, I don't know. I kind of got a feeling from him because he goes, oh, I didn't know we were going to go there. And then he's like, I can't even say anything. I don't know. Look, man, I want to know. How do you actually feel, completionist? Did you actually feel that rant? Like, were you like the Black Hokage? Like, really? Just that guy was like, yeah, talk to him.
Oh, like, that was so cringe.
I was like, oh my God, like it's a freestyle rap battle or some shit.
Yeah.
As if she's actually saying anything. I have this
she's not saying anything.
I have this thing up, and I want to like talk about like the point of view of the people that actually are on board with what she said really quick, because it's just such a warped point of view. So it says, Frost harassed by gamers after discussing sexism in gaming on X-Play Live. So now she's being harassed more by gamers. Again, this is what I'm saying. These people are doing this on the internet to bother you. Yeah. I don't understand. This kind of goes into something else that I wanted to talk about, which was a lot of people are kind of trying to campaign for getting people like completely banned off games and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, I think Phil Spencer was talking about doing like, oh, if you get banned on Xbox, you get banned on anything, kind of like Big Brother style stuff. And a lot of people are like really advocates of this, especially when like women like say things like, oh, I get like people say things to me that are mean on the internet. And I don't understand why these people just don't block or mute the people that they don't want to hear from. Like, if you're somebody who wants to go back and forth, okay, cool, go back and forth. But then don't get butthurt that you didn't decide to just cut it off when it hurt you. You know what I mean? Like, or if it's something that you just don't want to deal with, why don't you just mute? Why don't you just block? I don't understand why we need to like take everybody off of the internet who we don't like when we already have the tools available to curate it for ourselves. I don't.
Because it makes them relevant.
It makes who relevant?
It makes the people who are complaining relevant by like creating this problem. Like they like the attention. It's kind of like when a girl doesn't block her ex-boyfriend. She likes the attention. For sure, it's like it's like the same little like kiddie bullshit. It's just like you gotta remember, like you're rewarded for being a bad person on the internet in 2022. So like they're incentivized to keep going and like keep to act as if like there's this perpetual battle between these toxic gamers and feminists. But the thing is, you know what's interesting? It's a Gundam actually showed the live chat during when that was happening. The entire Twitch chat was supportive. Let's go, keep preach, woman.
I'm sure.
So like,
I'm sure.
this whole thing about like gets harassed during live. It's not even true. It's a lie. If you go to the Twitch chat, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Even on the YouTube chat too. They just made that up.
I'm sure that like somebody somewhere has said something bad. It's probably like one person said a thing that like she didn't like, and like. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's say somebody fucking said something bad. My point is, why do you care? Like, you're the one on TV. These people are fucking like watching you. Like, why does it bother you so much if somebody doesn't agree with you or doesn't like the fact that you're on TV? Like, fuck that. I don't understand why these people are crying about this. It does not compute. Like, straight up.
They're out of touch. They're definitely out of touch. Like, everything she said is also like, you're like 8 years too late. Like, this was kind of like a popular thing to do in 2012. Like,
well, somebody was saying that she was trying to start Gamergate 2.0. That's what
I wonder if she succeeded.
I don't know.
Because it's gotten so viral. I don't know.
Did you see the video? Somebody did an edit after she said Olivia Munn and Morgan Webb did not exist to be your eye candy.
Oh yeah, I was gonna mention that.
And then they edited in like all of like scenes of them actually being exactly that, and that was actually the point.
Yeah, when I heard that, I was just like, that's crazy because they literally existed to like for the eyes of men.
Yeah,
literally.
That was
like,
the point.
And they embraced it. Like that was the point.
Well, like, the entire audience was like, was young men. That was the whole point.
Yep.
Like, and so
I was 14.
Yeah, the whole thing was like they were upset that there was shows geared towards the things that young men like, and they came in and they want to destroy it, just like they want to do almost everything. And it's just kind of sad because they would be better off like using that energy making good stuff.
Yep. I mean, there's channels with just one person running it that do better game reviews than they do. It's crazy.
Yeah,
And they don't understand that. Like they don't know their competition. I think they live too much on cable television. Because if you notice like their style, it's very cable television-ish.
Yeah,
it's not very like internet YouTube 2022-ish.
Yeah.
It's very out of date, like their style.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's gonna work. No. I think Eric July's right.
No, I think it's definitely going down the tubes. But I'm gonna do a hard segue. We're doing a hard segue.
Let's do it.
Because I want to talk about what happened with Robinho.
Yeah, I did a whole rant on stream the other day. I'm ready to talk about this.
So, I saw that video and I didn't really know what to think because I was like, I don't know if this guy is like being for real or like if it was like, I wasn't sure. And then I just kind of waited to like hear things about it. And I'm like, okay. What? Like I just it's hard to process that somebody would like be that way on stream and like be serious. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. What do you think about this, man? This is just a very uncomfortable one for me. Like I'm not gonna lie.
Yes. So I am a very observant person, and the reason why this took interest is because Robinho has rated me a few times, so we were like kind of cool. I've watched his stream a few times. He's been pretty nice to me. So like, I saw this happen. I was like, this is interesting. So I watched the whole thing multiple times, and then like at first I watched through it. I was just like, okay, this just sounds like he's mad at a girl, and then. I saw the Twitter comments and they're like, "Oh, he raped someone." I'm just like, "Wait, did I miss something?"
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was like,
right? I rewatched it multiple times. I'm just like, and then so after I watched it multiple times, just like I kind of put it all together, and this is kind of this is the conclusion I come up with, right?
Okay.
So the first part of his story where he talks about whining, dining this girl who was apparently a hoe and just just promiscuous girl. That is true. The second half is completely made up because he probably watches too much porn. Let me try to explain, right? So like, really think about it. The first half, he says that he was whining, dining this girl.
Yeah.
And he's obviously not good with women. That's like the general conclusion I got from this whole take. So like, he finds out that like this girl is like sleeping with other guys, whatever. And like, I don't think he's aware that like that's kind of the norm with a lot of girls these days, right?
Right.
And so a lot of guys like. Because, men are repulsed by this. We don't like promiscuous women by default. So it like offends him, right? And so I think what actually happened is he probably just stopped talking to the girl. I think in this situation, he was drunk talking to his buddies and he like created this like weird revenge porn fantasy of just like, yeah, man, I called up. Because think about this. who has 8 male friends at the ready, Dick Card, call them up. Yo, you want to come over and just like rate this girl? Like, I just heard that. I was like, this is bullshit. Well, he definitely made this up.
So isn't he's Brazilian, right?
Yeah, so here's the thing.
So that's the thing, is I hear that is not uncommon in Brazil.
I don't disagree. I said, I was just like, I leave room for the possibility it could be true because Brazil's crazy.
Yo.
I leave room for that.
Yo.
But I do think this guy is just an angry beta dude who just got mad at the girl that he had a crush on, who was just sleeping with a bunch of dudes, and he just made this up because he was drunk and mad.
Well, so
that's my conclusion.
So I don't really understand. So, okay. From what I gather, this is like not like an uncommon occurrence in Brazil, and if that's the case, then do you think that anything would happen to him should that have been true, like legally? Because I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, if all of what he said is true and Twitter is correct, then I mean, sure.
I mean, like, okay, so I have this story up. Like, this is from like 10 days ago, but I have this story up. And it says, Capcom hopes that local authorities were going to address the matter. He got banned from everything, basically.
He got banned from everything. Everything.
It says Capcom Pro Tour officially announced today that Street Fighter Pro player Robinho Oliveira has been permanently globally banned from all Capcom-owned and operated events in response to him telling a horrific story about gang raping a former partner. During one of his streams, Robinho relayed a story detailing how he sought revenge against a former partner for being a hardcore skank and a huge slut, according to the translation posted by Crusader Online. In the clip, that's another thing that I want to talk about really quick too. In the clip, Robinho said 2 of them got hammered, and then he called 8 men over to the house they were staying to have her away with him participating. Okay, so it was also a translation, right? So I'm going to assume that the translation was correct. And
I think someone would have called it out if it wasn't.
Yeah.
I think someone would have called it out.
So, because I don't speak Portuguese.
Yeah.
So, man, it's pretty crazy because I just I guess I have a little bit more faith in humanity that somebody would not be serious about something that crazy on the internet that they're like saying. But I do know that this kind of thing does happen. Like, don't like people like do the even worse things.
It's like, Brazil. So it's pretty fucked up.
I mean, yo.
All I'm saying
I don't even know what to fucking think about this. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah. I think my take is I'd be surprised if it was true. But I leave room for the possibility.
I gotta say, I think it's true.
I can't think there's 8 men at the ready to do this from phone calls, and they all pick up.
But dude, like, yo, it's crazy down there, bro.
Yeah, I know.
And
like, it is crazy.
I gotta say, like, but okay, let's say that it is true. Do you think that Capcom banning him from everything is warranted? Because I would say in that case, yes. Generally, I would be averse to this kind of like punishment. But like, dude, if that's true, like, that's nuts. Because like, I'm not trying to like have this person come somewhere and then like get somebody else in that kind of a situation, right?
Yeah. I would say like. I would say because like I can't think of a scenario where I would disagree with Capcom because first of all, I'm not really that emotionally invested in this. I'm just kind of just like, okay, this dude, I mean, you got what's coming to you. Even if you're lying, you do know it's 2022. You can't say shit like that without getting banned from everything. Yeah. So like I ain't gonna go out of my way to defend this kind of shit. Yeah. I'm just not.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. No, I definitely don't want to defend it at all, especially if it's true.
Not this.
What I'm saying is it's like...
I'll defend the Filipino champ. What happened to him?
Right. Well, because the thing is, the initial stance is it's like anything that happens outside of a tournament, like they should be banned for stuff that happens within those like grounds, right? But like... That's some straight up real criminal activity. Yeah. That's like,
That's like an evil felony. Like,
right, which like also again it like poses like that you could say poses a threat. But the thing is, it's like people who believe that people should be banned for everything will classify everything the same way. And that's the thing that makes me cautious.
Yes.
You know, and it's not about whether or not I disagree with the act or even relaying that kind of a crazy story. It's like the fact that there's precedence that says like, okay, things that outside can, but you know, we have to have like a line, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and so like, I would say that was definitely the right call. Though I don't know what we're going to, like, if we're going to even learn more about this. Like, let me see if there's an update to this. This is a while ago.
I think what you're trying to say, correct me if I'm wrong, is like, it would be much easier for you to agree with the actions taken if it was like 03.
yeah, right.
It's just the current culture. You just don't want to agree with these retards. Yeah. That's really what that's all it is.
It's like, but I agree on this particular stance.
Yeah, right? This particular one. I saw this. I'm just like,
I don't want to be the type of person who's like, then something happens to like, you know, the same thing happens to like a Filipino champ, like what they did, and then they're like, but you agreed with Robinho, and it's like, but that's not the same fucking thing, you know?
It's like, it's not the same thing at all, like not even close.
Yeah, but like, you know, that's.
But it's funny. I mentioned this to my chat, and none of all of them pretty much actually agree. They're just like, yeah, I just have 8 friends at the ready. Like they just don't believe it. Yeah. So I don't really know.
But see, we're Americans though, so we don't have the same like culture, man. Like.
Yeah, we don't.
The thing. Yeah. It's like, so we're thinking about it completely differently. Like straight
up.
I
have a viewer from South America, and I asked him, "What do you think?" He's like, "I think it's definitely true. It's like it's crazy down there." So.
Right. Yeah. So
who am I to say? Like I said, I'm not gonna say that it's there's no way he's telling the like there's no way he's telling the truth. Like I leave room for it because it's Brazil. Like
yeah.
I just think I'd be surprised. But
so we're gonna learn.
Yeah, we're gonna learn. The actions taken, it's one of those things where I'm just like, I ain't gonna disagree.
Yeah,
I guess I'll say that. Like, I'm not gonna fight it. Y'all do what you gotta do. Because this one, I'm just like,
you don't want to.
I'm not gonna get involved in that one. You guys do what you gotta do, kind of thing. Because that one's crazy.
Yeah, I hear you. Yo, okay, so we got one more, and I want to talk about this is not political. This is not a political thing. This is more about the games, right? We got to talk about the games too. So last time we talked was right before King of Fighters 15 and Duel.
Which I am dude. I've been watching more videos, man. Oh man, dude, I can't wait to play it, dude.
Yeah. I have days off.
Can't wait.
I have days off to play that shit.
Yeah.
So and Dungeon Fighters Duel was doing the beta, right? And so I played those over the weekend when those were out. And I saw Mighty Keith posted this thing about simple inputs in fighting games on Twitter, and he was talking about like people need to get off that old ass mentality, and like we need to have like simple inputs in fighting games because people were like talking about Dungeon Fighters Duel, how it's very simple. Like you can do in Dungeon Fighters Duel, you can do cool shit with one button, like straight up, like your special attack is one button. You know what I mean? Like most things are like a button in a direction kind of thing. And it's going in that, it's kind of trending in that way because they want less people or more people to get into them. But I wanted to hear your thoughts about simple inputs in fighting games because my thing is I think Maximilian did a video about this, but he talked about how, what actually simple inputs in fighting games actually do is they actually backfire, right? Because what happens is people who are really good get better faster and then they can leave you know what I mean, like noobs in the dust and still frustrated. And a lot of people are like, they say something like, well, inputs and button combinations are like a barrier in fighting games. And I think yes, but I think it's a secondary barrier to other players. I think other players are actually the barrier. And so like focusing on the inputs actually doesn't achieve the goal of like making fighting games more accessible. All it does is it widens the skill gap and I think it increases, if anything, the amount of drop off for new players. What do you think?
So yeah, I have like kind of two opinions on this. On the first one, I guess the first one is like I totally agree with Max.
Yeah.
Which is the idea is like it doesn't actually achieve the goal because the best people are going to get to the best level very quickly. Yeah. That is true. Like that's going to happen, right? And then on the other hand, I'm kind of like, one of the reasons I progressed in Street Fighter V the way I did is because I didn't have to focus so much on execution. It allowed me to focus on neutral and like conditioning and all these other things that I didn't know existed in fighting games because I didn't have to worry about my combos so much. But what it also did is after 2,600 hours, like doing the combos is not fun anymore because there's no there's not much to learn about the character in terms of execution because it's so simple. So like it's one of those things where like, you know, it helps me get to the things I want to start learning faster, but it also makes the game more stale in the long run.
Yeah.
So like it's one of those things where I can kind of see there's pros and cons to each thing. Because here's the thing, like I don't actually think hard inputs defer casuals because the thing about like if that was the case, everybody would have quit Fortnite like years ago.
Yeah, well, that's what I think.
Yeah, everybody like because building in that game is so complex, but people still play it because the game is fun. Like there's so many fun things around the game. There's the skins, there's the culture in it. There's like just playing the game is fun. If you make the game fun to play, I don't really think it matters. And I think shooters are a good example of that. So like I think the idea of simple inputs kind of have their pros and cons, but the goal in which developers try to achieve, they never actually get. Pretty much what Max said.
Right, and I agree with you that if inputs were really a problem, there'd be so many other types of games that people wouldn't play. You know what I'm saying? And that's really not what it is. It's a psychological barrier with fighting games because with fighting games, it's you versus a guy, and you know, if you're the only one responsible for why your avatar is about to die, it screams out in pain every single time you get hit. It's like very much like a visceral experience for a lot of people who like don't want to like get, you know, that intensely competitive with video games, which is a lot of people, right? And so like fighting games really just do appeal to a certain type of person, and I think that it's not about. I think that again, like focusing on the inputs is actually focusing on the wrong thing. Like you need to figure out how to make it easier for people to deal with the stress that comes with knowing that somebody else has the ability to beat your character up and kill them faster than you can even think about pressing a button. Like, so like that's really what you need to do. And a lot of people say that like tutorial modes is probably like honestly Xrd, Get to Gear Xrd's tutorial mode is like one of the best tutorial modes I've ever seen because what it does is it puts you in a situation in different situations where you actually have to get used to moving around quickly, and it does a really good job of like focusing the player as to like how to do all of those things and slowly kind of building on knowledge from previous lessons. And I think that if more fighting games did stuff like that, then we would have a lot more, you know, new players that are less intimidated, I suppose.
Yeah, I think Smash Melee is the best example of you don't have to really go that hard and making a game super competitive, like from a default design perspective. You could just make a game fun, people will make it competitive.
But Smash has simple inputs too, so that like you could have that argument that like that would be a simple input argument too, right?
Yeah,
because every character has the same inputs. It's actually Dungeon Fighters Duel has a similar kind of thing where like every character's inputs are pretty much the same. They just do different. I mean, Dragon Ball Fighters too, to some degree.
Yeah, it's kind of like what you said. It's like they're focusing on the wrong thing because you got to look at what made MK11 so successful. And I think a big reason why the game's so successful is it has a bunch of characters people want to play.
Yeah, right.
And the offline content is probably the best I've seen in any fighting game. You can do co-op offline content.
Right.
Like you and 3 people can fight a boss.
Right.
Like why doesn't it like if fighting games kind of made that part of their priority when making the game, they would be successful like sales.
Yeah.
Because even though MK11, the competitive scene wasn't really like this monstrous like behemoth that like other fighting games may have been, it was still probably the best-selling Mortal Kombat game of all time, and it's because the game is good.
No, you actually made a good point, which is like the co-op, and like I think that's another thing that fighting games tend to shy away from is like figuring out ways to get people to play together because they're so focused on playing a part, right? The competitive part, and there are people that are just like want to do cooperative stuff. So Smash Bros. Has that, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like. Injustice, like does Injustice have it? I think Injustice has like the same way that I could be wrong about that, but Mortal Kombat does. But like Smash Brothers has that kind of thing too, where there's like scenarios that you can play with a friend, and you can do like teams mode and all that kind. Street Fighter 4 has it, Actually,
it does.
Street Fighter 4 has it, but I don't think that a lot of people played it because they didn't really advertise that was a thing. So like, so I think that I think we're kind of getting on something where it's like they have two different distinct types of people that want to experience fighting games in different types of ways. You have the people that are traditional, right? You can put those in like that category of like, the people who just want to play the fighting game competitively. To some degree, whether that's like, sort of competitively, at least like versus their friends or like actually go to tournaments. And then you have the people that like co-op games and like the idea of fighting games, but get turned off by the competitive nature of it. So if you have a team battle system, or if you have like some sort of a team battle mode in your game, fucking advertise it. Then you would get sales at least. They won't necessarily be like part of the tournament scene, obviously, but you'll get sales.
Dude, I'm telling you, Project L is going to succeed. If they have a 2v2 mode, it's over. I'm telling you, with that kind of netcode, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. They're going to destroy everybody with that. Because if you notice, the most popular multiplayer games are all collaborative games. Right. They're co-op team shooters, or even games like Monster Hunter, which I've been playing.
I saw you've been playing Rise, right?
Yeah, Rise and World. They're both so good. Yeah. Like this like let's play together. I think developers really dropped. Like this is what made a lot of games really popular in the 2000s. Almost every game had co-op features. Yeah. For the reason why Halo 3 is one of the best games of all time, because you can do everything together in that game. Online co-op campaign, and then eventually they had Firefight. Like you can do everything in that game together. Like,
this is why beat 'em ups really come back.
Yeah.
Because that's what beat 'em ups are. Beat 'em ups are a co-op fighting game. That's what it is. Right? And so like, but it's funny because we are seeing kind of like a resurgence in that genre too, like right now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's an outgrowth of exactly what you're talking about. People do want to be able to play together. And like, that's what beat 'em ups were, right? They were like, like fucking Street Fighter 89, right? Final Fight. Like that's what that shit was, like, right? And so I think that like adding co-op features, like think about it, Tekken Force mode. Do you remember Tekken Force mode from Tekken?
No,
3?
what's that?
Dude, it was a fucking beat 'em up in Tekken. It was like,
wow,
yo,
I knew that.
Straight up. And like there used to, I think there was a couple of Tekken games that have it in it, but like even like I'm not saying that they have to do this with every game, but like Guilty Gear Judgment, have you ever heard of this? This is a beat 'em up with Guilty
PSP,
Gear characters.
Nice.
And it's like, so you can do stuff, you can have those kinds of features, those kinds of co-op features. I think that's really what it is it's like, figure out a way to cater to the people who want to be cooperative, and you will sell more fighting games. Instead of trying to figure out how to make the competitive experience appeal to people who don't care about that. Because that's really the problem. That's the divide that they haven't gotten to. So...
What you gotta remember too is one of the most beloved Mortal Kombat games is Shaolin Monks. That wasn't even a 1v1 fighting game.
Yep.
That's a co-op game.
Wait, hold on.
That game is awesome.
You mean this one? Oh,
dude, me and my cousin have so many hours in that damn game. Yes. What a game that was.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's a beat 'em up, right?
Mortal Kombat understands this. They get this.
They do. Well, on that note, I think we talked about a lot of shit. So tell these motherfuckers where they can find you.
Y'all can find me on Twitch and YouTube at Ceelows.
All right, y'all can find me at twitch.tv/MisterBehavior. You can find me on youtube.com/MisterBehavior. And
they say you must defeat shit long
this
stand a
is
chance.
the
But homie,
Anti-Oki
get that
Podcast.
wrong.
See you guys on the next
Just take a glance. Attack me if you dare, son. I will crush you. I'll crack your back. You should be scared, son. I'll bust you. Just go home and be a family man. If not, I'm gonna have to destroy your anatomy, man. It's natural for someone like me to be the world's strongest, because I'm on this. Just being honest. I astonish. My sonic boom flash kicks are right here waiting for you. Wanna get your ass kicked for your plastic. Your kung fu is weak and mine is chic and spastic. Fantastic. You're not a warrior, you're just a beginner. Get up, wimp, and bask in the glory of a winner. My strength is much greater than yours. I'm a street fighting legend, the creator of wars. No use debating the score, I've waited patiently for someone to pound through the ground. I'll smash your face in the floor. Get lost, dog, I'm the boss, you can't compare with my powers. I play this game for the fame, they claim the hundreds of hours.
Listen, it's a tournament edition. Challenging me, it's just like pissing in the rain.
like pissing in the wind, doing KO since I was one day old. Keep on wishing, man, cause no, you'll never win. No need to worry, a state of euphoria. I won the tourney twice, now I am the world warrior. Using my kung fu to destroy you. Flurry of kicks which only your performer do. Ken's a competitor, write you out like an editor. Stay ahead of the pack, flame attack like a predator. I ain't stretching the truth, my dull Sims the tightest. I'll leave you burnt to a crisp with elephantitis. Need to charge up to bite, scrap attack with Blanca. Yo, I'm warming up my engines when you lose to Honda. There's no doubt, my win count will haunt ya. Wanna try and win again? We'll let their dish you for one to. Every street fight is better the second time around. I've learned how to throw down, I'm KO bound. Do I punch light or medium? No, I punch hard, because I'm pretty sure I just kicked and blew up a car. Yo, you're looking like vomit, I busted suplex atomic. I fill the room with the boom that sounds supersonic. Tiger flame so feisty, uppercut so nicely. Zakat will brew you up a batch of Mai Tai iced tea. Listen, listen, it's a tournament edition. Challenging me, it's just like pissing in the wind. Doing KO since I was one day old. Keep on wishing, man, cause no, you'll never win. Yo, listen, listen, it's a tournament edition. Challenging me, it's just like pissing in the wind. Doing KO since I was one day old. Keep on wishing, man, cause no, you'll never win.